Hello, and welcome back to Project Rejectus. Today, we will be talking about Turnham and the new environments that have appeared there due to the ever-growing desert. Due to the hotter temperatures, many plants had to adapt, such as the cherba. This harsh new environment had also given little resources to the plants here, so to survive their descendants, the allotment grew in vast colonies, taking as much resources as possible to survive, becoming much taller in the process. This new species proved extremely successful, as they would soon spread at every corner of the continent. Despite the abundance of this new grass, it was also had very little nutritional value, meaning vast quantities of this plant had to be eaten every day for herbivores, making survival for young animals extremely difficult to survive. The Luteus descendants had found a way to make their childhoods much easier so their babies wouldn't starve. The lacros produces a type of crop milk from their beak similar to pigeons, in order to help their babies survive their first months of survival until they can fend for themselves. These animals had very complex dances using their modified flaps to more effectively communicate with their herds. This method proved extremely effective as their young gained much more nutrients than eating allotment grass ever would. But with so much of it around, one of their descendants found a way to make the best of their situation. The cordum would quickly become one of the most successful grazers, as these large animals had developed multi-chambered stomachs that could take as much nutrients as possible from their food. They had also developed large horns on their shells. But don't be fooled. While they look intimidating, they are purely to help with their social displays, which is why they share similar colors to their flaps. Another descendant of the luteus, known as the equimen, had found a different method. They instead would eat as much grass as possible using their long legs to travel huge distances without getting tired. They always had the first bite before any other herbivores. This also helped to outrun predators in their daily lives. With all these new grazers roaming the savanna, this gave parasites like the cadarum more food than ever before. A descendant of theirs could now double now on being a parasite. The pestum, after laying their eggs on usually a large grazer, once they hatched would use their sharp needle mouths to eat their way into their new host, spending most of their lives in them, until they eventually started to reach maturity, where they started to grow out their foreign wings. Once they finished developing, the pestum would eat their way out of their host, flying off to find a mate to start the cycle again. Ironically, once these parasites matured, their diet would now consist mostly of parasites on other animals, making the adults act as cleaners for the environment. All these new grazers also gave many opportunities to predators, such as the acudin. While many bigger predators like the agilibus ate the grazers, they usually left a lot of scraps behind, which isn't great for the environment, giving the acudin a brand new niche to fill. Their much smaller descendants, the diellum, traveled in large flocks using their purple and yellow crests to help identify each other. These social flyers acted as the savannas and deserts vultures, eating any corpse they could find and quickly telling the rest of their flock, equally taking a piece of the corpse. The noxterem was an animal without a home on Turnham, with the forests gone, so they had to adapt quickly, sticking to their nocturnal lifestyle. The invaser had lost the ability to fly, now hunting on the ground. These nocturnal predators would hunt for any burrows or sleeping animals to eat. While they usually walked on all threes, they occasionally stood up in one leg to intimidate any threats around them, flying around their claws in defense. Theses wouldn't be the only nocturnal animals, as the testrum had a similar situation, being a primitive animal in a new world. These animals had it harder than anyone else on the savannas, but still they survived. Their nocturnal descendants, the rutin, had changed their front teeth into a shovel-like tool to dig out their burrows. They had evolved spikes on the backs of their shells, so if any predators tried to break into their burrows, they could simply turn around using their spikes to defend themselves. However, after this would happen, they usually left their burrows, making new ones. With the amount they made, many small animals would call old rutin burrows their home. The rutin's shovel teeth would prove to have more used, as one of their descendants, the quivendu, returned to the day, using their strong teeth to hunt small animals, taking up the vacant niche of a small predator in the savannas. The Tezer had been one of the only forest animals to find success in the New World, with their poison being as important as ever. But their success was short-lived, as the Quivendu quickly developed a poison resistance just to hunt them. The Tezer descendants, the Clanum, quickly countered this, becoming builder to withstand more hits. They also developed small spurs on their legs to defend themselves, quickly moving around to get as much hurt their predators as much as possible. Thank you for watching as always. I hoped you enjoyed today's video. I know I did. If you felt it was a bit short, don't worry, this one has another part I'll release in a week or two, going over the rise of new forests in Turnham. But until then, goodbye to everyone for now.